So the WBC have added to their list, their growing list of title belts, because they've got the WBC, I guess, regular belt, the WBC diamond belt, the WBC Mayan belt, and for Amir Khan's upcoming fight, they've got something called the WBC Pearl belt. I mean, they just make up belts like it's going out of fashion. Now, their latest version of the belt is the WBC franchise belt. So Canelo has apparently lost his regular WBC title and has now been elevated to the status of franchise champion, whatever the hell that means. I'm assuming this is similar to the WBA's two-tier championship system, where they've got their regular belt and they've got their super champion. Canelo, in effect, is now WBC super champion. They've just got a different name on it, franchise champion rather than super champion, to differentiate from what the WBA are doing. This is going to be extremely frustrating for the likes of Jamal Charlo, who's somebody that's been looking for a shot against Canelo. And there are many other fighters out there, I'm sure, in the WBC rankings will be very, very frustrated. Charlo will now, as far as I'm aware, be elevated to WBC regular champion. But what the hell does that mean? This really is bad for boxing when you get these sanctioning bodies introducing these additional belts, because it just makes it confusing for the public. It's only really the hardcore boxing nerds like us that can follow all this stuff, and even we struggle to follow it half of the time. So imagine what it's like for casuals who don't know nothing about all these sanctioning bodies. And they're seeing franchise champion and this champion and diamond belts and Mayan. Like, how the hell do they keep up, and how the hell do they know what this all of this means? How do they know who's actually the best? So, yeah, it's a horrible development. Really disappointing to see the WBC do this. And of course, there's potential implications for Dillian Whyte as well, because he's been chasing down this Deontay Wilder fight for God knows how long. There is the possibility that Wilder gets upgraded to franchise champion and therefore is able to continue swerving that Dillian Whyte fight. You know, and look, I've gone on record and said many times, I think Deontay Wilder beats Dillian Whyte, but that's just an opinion. It doesn't mean he actually will. Maybe Dillian Whyte knows something that we don't. Maybe Dillian Whyte has a particular way to fight Deontay Wilder and beat him. At the end of the day, Dillian Whyte is a top contender. This is not a donut. This is not a pudding. This is not a Tom Schwartz we're talking about here. This is a top contender, Dillian Whyte. One of the most improved heavyweights in the world. This is a guy who deserves his shot. So, to potentially, go through all the stuff he's been through, fight and perhaps beat, we'll see, Oscar Rivas, and then be told afterwards, yeah, you're mandatory, but only to the regular WBC belt. Wilder's now been upgraded to franchise champion. I mean, talk about a kick in the teeth. And there's been hints by Eddie Hearn that they're willing to go down a legal route with the WBC. When I mean legal, I'm talking about lawyers, court cases and stuff like that. If Dillian Whyte doesn't get his title shot. And when they mean title shot, they surely are talking about Deontay Wilder. It does appear as though Al Heyman is trying to keep anybody who's not an Al Heyman fighter the hell away from Deontay Wilder for the most part. They took a calculated gamble against Tyson Fury because they thought he was shot. But other than that, they're trying to keep it all in-house. Luis Ortiz and Adam Kalnacki, Spilka, Brazil. These guys are all Al Heyman fighters. Now, obviously, with Brazil, that was a mandatory. But if you go look at the list of people Deontay Wilder's fought, most of them have been Al Heyman guys. I mean, they were completely dismissing the idea of Wilder fighting Luis Ortiz until Ortiz signed with Heyman. And then all of a sudden the fight happened immediately. And I said at the time, I'm not surprised that Wilder's fighting Ortiz, because I don't think it was really Wilder was afraid of Ortiz. I just think it was Al Heyman was afraid of putting Wilder in against somebody dangerous who he didn't have in his stable. You know, I think it's really Heyman. Same like with the welterweight situation. Do I think that Errol Spence is afraid of Terence Crawford? Hell no, he's not afraid of Terence Crawford. But I do think that Al Heyman is a little afraid of making that fight. That's what I think. So I think Heyman is blocking a lot of things and keeping a lot of fighters away from his guys. And many promoters do that to one degree or another. But right now, Al Heyman, who is officially an advisor, quote unquote, rather than a promoter, he seems to be doing it more than anybody else, particularly in the welterweight division and the heavyweight division, keeping outsiders away from his champions and trying to do everything in-house as much as he can. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.